this is Malcolm from Automotive Addicts. Today I'm bringing you the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Now the Toyota Tundra is actually an aging beast. It's a pickup truck that's been around for many years, and this current generation has stood the test of time, in my opinion. In adding the TRD Pro trim, which came out just a few years ago, Toyota kind of elevated the Tundra as far as being more attractive to hardcore truck buyers who might want to do some off-roading, light off-roading. But as it stands for the 2020 model year, not much has changed either. They do offer a few additional colors. The suspension system on the TRD Pro is totally different from the normal Tundras. Now, essentially, the TRD Pro version of the Tundra builds off of the Platinum trim and the 1794 edition for the Tundra, which has been around for quite some time as well. But as you look here, we got these exclusive BBS forged wheels that are exclusive to the TRD Pro version. They are forged wheels, 18-inch all around. You can see the shocks in here, and up front got your TRD springs for the different suspension system. And I have a few things to say about the suspension system once we take it for a drive. I'll let you know what I think about it and some of the characteristics that kind of stand out. But overall, it's just the same old Tundra we've been accustomed to for many years now. The TRD Pro does add in the custom exhaust system. You see the TRD logo on the exhaust tips. It is a dual exhaust. It does sound mean. I give it to them for the TRD Pro version, and adding that exhaust system, the truck sounds mean. And in the back you have your dampened tailgate. Pretty easy to close. A liner here, spray and liner. TRD Pro lettering there. And that familiar engine being the 5.7 liter V8 engine. And there it is in all its glory, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. And we'll just go ahead and close that. And as you notice with the hood, this vent is not functional, unfortunately. It is just for looks. Looks pretty sharp. And you got the exclusive, customized grille here in the front with the kind of old school Toyota logo. And also for the TRD Pro, you have these somewhat of an aftermarket LED fog light down here. Your darkened headlamp, LED headlights. And if you look closely at the grille, you have this radar here for the adaptive cruise control and forward collision warning. But overall, folks, the Tundra, even in the TRD Pro version, is more of a simple truck that's out there. I'm not sure if it's still competitive with some of the other newer trucks. However, Toyota has kept that known reliability and proven track record of something like this. This truck probably will last you a lot longer than some of the other trucks. I hate to say that, you probably bash me for it, but that's what I believe. Toyota quality, it's pretty much unsurpassed. And moving to the interior of the Tundra TRD Pro. It's a very familiar interior for many years for the Tundra. The seats are somewhat different with the accent red stitching. Of course, the TRD Pro embroidering here. You do have some red accent stitching here on the dash. Otherwise, you're looking at a very familiar and aged interior, which isn't a bad thing. It's kind of what's expected out of the Toyota Tundra. But the one feature that I like and that's been added for the 2020 model year is push button start. And you have your smart keyless access here on the door handle for locking and unlocking the vehicle just by the handle. That's convenient, something that's been missing from the Tundra for many years and people have kind of complained about, but it's here finally. Alright, starting up the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. With that big V8 roar. So what you'll notice in the Toyota Tundra is the interior dashboard. You got a lot of hard plastics throughout. It's a very minimalistic cabin in the Toyota Tundra, has been for many years. Over the years, they've added quite a, just small additions, such as the USB ports down here, 3 USB ports, just 2 for charging and 1 for the interface, which actually has Apple CarPlay for this year and Android Auto integration. And down here you have your tow haul your gain control, and of course your push button start, which is new for this year. Same dashboard as you've known for many years. Same old controls over here. Got your SOS, your telematics for emergency response. Somewhat of a small sunroof, it's very wide. And of course your large storage bin area. The infotainment screen has pretty much remained the same as well. There's just a few subtle updates to it. Of course, you got your Apple CarPlay integration here. It's a easy to access screen. It's your physical climate controls, of course, and your heated front seats, and your all-wheel drive controller. And moving to the back, you have quite a bit of space back here. It's a big, I call it like a couch. This big seat back here. Your vents. And just a single charging port. And that's pretty much it. Alright, I am setting off in the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Now, first thing I've noticed in driving the TRD Pro version of the Tundra is the different suspension system, where you have a softness that just isn't there with any of the other trims of the Tundra. That softness comes from the suspension. It's more of like a Baja setup, in a sense, where, you know, the vehicle's kind of lofty, able to conquer some serious terrain at high speeds. That's what I'm getting from the suspension. I could be wrong, but that's kind of like the goal of the TRD Pro, to more of a rugged off-roading vehicle versus the other Toyota Tundra trims. And like I said before, with the proven 5.7 liter V8, 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque, it's a pretty robust truck, and that engine is actually still mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Once again, another proven old-school characteristic of the Tundra. So accelerating in the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro, you definitely hear that exhaust sound all the time. You don't get any drone though on the highway, which is kind of commendable for the tuning of the exhaust. However, that presence is there. You have that mean-sounding V8 engine, you know, thumping back there from that exhaust, which I actually love. That's the one characteristic about this truck I really love over the other Tundras, is that exhaust sound. The ride quality on the road for the TRD Pro version of the Tundra, like I said, it's soft. It lofts around a little bit. Actually, when you go into turns, you got a lot of body roll that kind of stays there. It's like static body roll in this truck. It feels a little uneasy, something you don't want to push hard on the road because of that weight transfer you get from the suspension, but the TRD Pro suspension does fairly well in keeping things in check, but there is just that scare factor of pushing this vehicle on the road. Off-roading, I just took it off on a dirt back road. It does pretty well, actually. It dampens the rough terrain pretty well. These knobby tires do well to grapple the loose sand and dirt. But otherwise, you're still working on this old platform for the Tundra. The Tundra is actually supposed to get updated, believe it or not, in the next year or two. They're going to be moving to some different engines. Actually, there's a rumor of a hybrid powertrain from that 3.5 liter V6. I don't know how true that is, but it is what it is. They need to update this vehicle. It's pretty old at this point. But like I said before, Toyota's in the business of methodically updating their vehicles, not to disappoint their customers in what they are grown to like and enjoy. Yeah, the Tundra's still no slouch. You're gonna pay for that at the pump. This thing sucks down gas like you would not believe. Fortunately, on this one, there is a larger gas tank. It's like a 30-something gallon tank in this one. But fuel consumption, you're looking at 13 miles per gallon city, 17 miles per gallon highway, 14 combined, which means this thing still eats up the gas even when you're driving it soft. I'm seeing numbers around 15, 14 miles per gallon just cruising along downtown in the city. It's an older engine, deserves an update. The 5.7 is proven, but that's what you get out of buying a Toyota Tundra. It's the reliability track of this truck. You know, it's going to last you forever. There are a couple of million-mile Tundras out there in the real world. You know, they've never had any overhauls or major maintenance. That's the proven quality you get out of a Tundra, despite not having those fancy features. You do have adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, forward collision warning. Now, like in my other videos, I'll do a 0 to 60 for you real quick. Believe it or not, 0 to 60 is about 6.4 seconds in the Tundra.
like I said, it's not a slouch. It's, you know, pretty good for being a big truck. Here we go. Got the 40, 45, 50, and 60. And like I said, you're working with that 6-speed automatic transmission. You don't have the extra gears that some of the newer trucks have, unfortunately. But hopefully they'll, you know, update the Tundra next year and bring in some newer equipment, some of the new tech that some of the newer trucks have, just to stay competitive, because the Toyota Tundra's kind of fallen off here recently. But I give the TRD Pro version of the Tundra props. It's a neat green color on the truck. The wheels are pretty cool. It's a neat suspension system, and you got that nice exhaust out back. All in, you're looking at spending about $56,000, $57,000 out the door for the Toyota Tundra TRD Pro 2020 model year. Towing capacity, you can get up to 10,200 pounds for towing. Payload, 1,700 pounds or so, which is somewhat on par with some of the newer trucks, still competitive. But yeah, Tundra's always had some pretty good power. That V8, it's a great engine. But otherwise, there's not much else to tell you about the Toyota Tundra, even in the TRD Pro version of it. You know, I like having the push button start now, and the, you know, keyless, the smart keyless access. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have for you for the 2020 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Hope you subscribe, like the video, come back often, check out my next videos. Hopefully I'll bring out some cool stuff for you. Until then, I will catch you guys in the next one.